So it's the Christmas special. I'm Mark Owen, and together with my panel of distinguished guests, we are in this part one, pick out the story of the year. It's the number one story across Punchline that really resonates with us, that really caught your eye. So today, I'm going to start with Sam. Sam, what's your story of the year, please?
Well, and not just because we got Richard here, but I did want to commend your election coverage. I mean, when I was a newspaper editor, we used to cover elections wall to wall, but nowadays that doesn't happen. So I think your election coverage was great. But I think your story of the year was when you broke the exclusive about Lloyd's leaving their iconic place in Barnwood. I think so many people in Gloucester have got connections with that place. It's a very iconic building, and the thought of having to leave it and go all the way down to Bristol for a lot of employees, that's quite a tough thing to take. So that was a story that got me, because I thought about not only the people that have been there before, but those that are there now and the big decisions they're going to have to make. So that was my story of the year.
Okay, thank you ever so much for that. What's your story, pick of the punchlines for this year?
Mine's more of a fitness story, Mark, and it's that the paddle club launched in the Toys R Us in Gloucester, and it's the most incredible facility. I played there with Richard, and he's annoyingly good. And it's the fastest growing sport in Europe, and it's fantastic. That I love the way that they actually did it on that industrial estate there amongst all the other retail premises. And it's an incredible facility, and there are just more and more paddle clubs opening all over Gloucestershire, and it's the best sport. If you can play squash or tennis, you'll pick it up so easily. So I'm just really excited about the booming growth of paddle in this county.
I totally agree with you. I played there a number of times already as well. It's absolutely fantastic. Ruth, let's go over to you. It's your story of the year for Punchline.
It's back from last March when you ran an article about the university revealing its vision for the new campus, the old Debenhams building. Now, this is part of the amazing regeneration of the centre of Gloucester, with the bus station, with King Square, with the Forum. And I love your walk rounds, Mark. You've done quite a few of them, of building sites. So we've seen the Forum, we've seen Minster Exchange, we've seen so many. And you did a wonderful one with the chap Morgan Sindel when you went through and you said, well, this will be the cafe looking out over King Square, and this is where the ladies department was, and that's now going to be the health and safety centre for the university. It's just amazing, and it's made me sort of think that it links with the Gloucestershire economic strategy, which is driven by innovation and built on heritage.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks for that as well. I do love my walkthroughs myself, by the way. I get to meet so many amazing people to see so much stuff. Talitha, let's go over to you. What have you picked out from this year, please?
Well, I have to say an enormous thank you to you. I think we spoke recently, and your support to our sector is absolutely phenomenal. You've supported over 200 charities with your free pro bono, which is absolutely instrumental, and a lot of organisations getting support that wouldn't get that shining of a light. And you shine a light, and you shone a light on my Poverty Hurts appeal, discussing that we've distributed nearly 200,000 to about 110 organisations, supporting 34,000 people, 7,000 meals and 40 warm spaces. And we've launched that appeal again this year. We've raised 35,000, 100,000, and we're able to get that money out for Christmas. So without help from the business sector and from organisations like yourself giving us a hand, we wouldn't be able to do the work we do. So I want to say an enormous thank you for all you do silently. You never really discuss it much. And to shout out to people like you who tirelessly work away in the background for organisations like us.
That's very kind of you. Thank you ever so much for that, Talitha. I really appreciate that. Okay, let's go to you, Richard. What have you picked out from Punchline?
Well, Mark, I picked out as the story of the year the article you wrote on the 16th of December about the devolution white paper. And the white paper, of course, is now out. And so you'll be able to take that story forward because it has enormous consequences for Gloucestershire. There will be lots of people who will be excited about the idea of a potential Gloucestershire strategic authority with great powers at the centre, get away with all the planning decisions by 6 district councils and so on. But there will also be some real issues about whether actually this is devolution upwards into a single authority rather than down towards the people who know best what's happening around them. And for example, it will almost certainly mean that that huge 3,500 house proposal by Taylor Wimpey just outside Gloucester at Wadden will go ahead. So this is going to be big, both on the micro detail and on the macro. And I think it's something that you'll be wanting to cover with many members of this panel and others over the next few months.
Certainly, and we've got lots and lots of balls in the air already. Looking into it. So thanks ever so much for that, Richard. I know this is close to your heart as well, Ian. The same story, but what is your story of the year?
My story is what you've done on the forum over the months, and just following up what Talitha and Ruth has said. The way you do it with video and whatever. As a former editor in this city, you have now replaced the media here. You actually try very hard. You get great exclusives, and you make stories come alive, and that's what it's all about.
Well, that's really lovely of you. Thank you ever so much. I really appreciate it. My story over the year, there are so many. I just want to say, by the way, I did actually go back and count them. We've done over 2,870 news stories, let alone the what's on, the business experts, all the videos and everything. And I just want to say a big thank you to my fantastic team. Yes, I'm the face of it, but I do have a wonderful team all behind the background, all beavering away every single day. So a big thanks to them as well. My story of the year, actually, I'm going to be a little bit selfish. I'm going to choose my interview with Dooley and Dunkerton a couple of weeks ago of 131 The Promenade. And the reason for that is that all the media were there. Everybody had that story exactly the same time. It just so happens that I actually I managed to persuade Julian to do the video walk around with me, just off the hoof, no walkthrough or anything like that. Really was off the cuff. And then I sat down and filed the story from 131 while everybody else had actually left. Filed it to Sarah Wood. He did a wonderful job putting it all together. And I must admit, I was really chuffed with the results. It was 48,000 people watched that video on LinkedIn as well, let alone who watched it on our YouTube channel, let alone actually embedded on the website as well. So it was a great story. He turned out to be a really nice guy and a great guy to interview, and somebody who then did a big interview. So that was my story of the year on a very personal level as well. Unfortunately, that's where we're going to stop this particular segment. I'd just like to thank my fantastic panel. If you like the show, please like, share, and subscribe. Move over to part 2. Thanks very much. Bye.